Oh, this is the part where I talk. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right, let's try this again. Welcome to a special, unique, cool, different, out of this world, maybe even life-changing podcast episode of Blending the Family. I am your host, Tommy Maloney, and I have no idea what I was doing right before I hit that record button, but that's okay. That's okay. All right. Why is this a special, unique, cool, different, out of this world, maybe life-changing event? Glad you asked. Here we go. One of our past guests, Johhny Nomad, and I hope you subscribe to his podcast and his Instagram, Johhny Nomad Presents. But Johhny reached out to me earlier this week and said, hey, can we put something together, just riff, we'll figure it out as we go along. I'm like, yeah, sure. I am currently with the dreaded day job right now. I'm grounded, and I don't know how long, and I'm hoping it's going to be a while. Well, number one, it's the dreaded day job. Number two, I like being off the road. If you're not familiar with this podcast, again, I'm Tommy Maloney. Thanks for asking. And if this is your first time listening, thanks for coming by. Like I said, this is going to be a special, unique, cool, different, out of this world, maybe life-changing episode. And I'm a road warrior, and I am hoping, praying that I am done being a road warrior. And I am, like I said, I'm grounded, but in a good way. Not doing any travel. Home. Long story short, the company I work for is changing their policy, and we're actually going to talk about this on this podcast episode. The company I work for changing their policy when it comes to taking days off, personal time off, PTO, and that change goes into effect at the end of this month. Therefore, I'm like, I'm going to use my PTO because going forward, it doesn't matter how long. I'm guessing. I don't know. I really didn't look into it other than if you want to take a day off, apparently no questions asked, you can go take a day off. It doesn't matter how long you've been with the company, apparently. But like I said, this goes into effect the end of this month. So I'm just like, I'm going to use my time off, my PTO, take a week and a half off, and just relax, record some podcasts, write, just chill. And like I said, Johhny reached out to me and he said, let's put something together. And I said, all right, let's do it. We really didn't have, when we did this first episode today, we didn't really have a topic. And normally on Tuesdays when I'm recording this, I put out an episode called Parenting Tip Tuesday. This could be part of it, where Johhny and I are going to try and continue doing this as long as we can. So, what we're going to talk about on this episode, how this collaboration came about, what projects we are working on while being home, not necessarily quarantine, but while we're being home. And Johhny offers a piece of advice to help you move forward in your entrepreneurial life, your solopreneurial life. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited about having this opportunity to be creative. This is different in my view because it's just two guys talking about what the world is going through right now, but at the same time, as I said at the beginning, we're going to try and come up with some topics. We're going to have some segments and go from there. And like I said, who knows how long this is going to last? I don't know, but I'm excited about this. Just going to have fun. So I hope you enjoy this special, unique, cool, different, out of this world, maybe life-changing podcast episode of Blending the Family. And as I said, normally on Tuesdays we do the Parenting Tip Tuesday. and we'll go from there. Still have regular guests, new guests that come out on Fridays. The past 2 days that I've been home, I've booked a bunch of guests, and we'll have some new episodes going out. So this is why I'm super excited about being home, not being on the road. And I don't know how long it's going to last. My boss already told me it'll probably be 2 weeks, and I'm not looking forward to that. So there you go. Thanks for listening to this episode. Please subscribe. Please leave a rating and review. I don't want to have a dreaded day job anymore. I like, again, being home. I love being home with my wife, and 2 of the bonus daughters are here. Hopefully, I'll be able to pick up the boy Friday and go from there. But please leave a rating and review. Download, share, because like I said, I want this to be my day job. I love doing this. I love delivering content and getting you guests that you might not have heard of. I have a former NFL player is going to come on the podcast. I don't know when we're going to record it, but he gave me the green light saying let's start putting dates together. So I'm super, super excited about sharing with you this gentleman's story. It's really unique. It's really can I use unique a few more times today? Apparently so. It's a very I don't know what to use. It will be a great episode, trust me. Anyway, there you go. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. I will use our Terry Crews tagline, and if I cannot speak, I don't know what it is. I've had coffee. All of a sudden, I'm starting to feel sleepy. I don't know what it is, but if you've never heard this podcast, I always like to end the show with a interview I heard with the actor, the artist, the furniture designer, Mr. Terry Crews. And Terry Crews says, "Your success is my success." I hope after listening to this, you'll subscribe to Johhny Nomad's podcast. I want him to be successful. He is just a fun guy. He's funny. He's hilarious. He tells it how it is. Even though he lives in the burbs of Atlanta, Georgia, he's a New York guy. And I think one of the episodes we're going to have to talk about is why Chicago pizza is way better than New York style pizza. Okay? So, enjoy this special, unique, cool, different, out of this world, maybe life-changing episode of Blending the Family. Oh, don't forget to wash your hands.
How do I look?
Sexier than sexy.
I know, right? Put on the beard, grow out. The grades are coming in. Looking like, remember old school Wolfgang?
Yeah.
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 That's showing my age there. Yeah. Oh, I got my laptop. I got 3 freaking books. I got it on, let's see, Lincoln, my Obama book, and Andrew Jackson.
Andrew Jackson, really?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Was it Andrew Jackson? Or is it? No, it's Hamilton. I'm sorry.
Still, same time period.
Lincoln and Andrew's about 2,000 pages combined. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you ever go to prison, make sure you bring that book with you.
Oh, I sure will. Trust me.
Yeah.
The goal is not to go to prison.
That's true. At least for today.
At least for today, yeah. If it's necessary, then of course I will do what I need to do. If I was to become like the next Nelson Mandela, then yeah, I'll do what I have to do.
Okay.
You know?
The white version of Nelson Mandela.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, screw it, why not?
Yeah.
Dude, so this is what Johhny Nomad presents and Blending the Family kind of just meeting up right now.
Morphed?
Yeah, it's just kind of like, syncing together.
Yeah.
So I like this. Take it away, Tommy.
Well, I think this being our first episode trying to build, we don't know what.
Yeah, we're trying to figure shit out.
We are.
In times like these.
And I guess we can tell the listeners the backstory is that, you know, Johhny said, "Hey, let's put something together," and I said, "All right." And so here we are, going to
Yeah.
attempt to put something together. But look, you know, how about this? Tell us about Johhny Nomad Presents. What is that podcast all about?
So Johhny Presents, it pretty much is telling people stories, whether you're a hip hop artist to a sex therapist to an entrepreneur. And I speak to people who are really in the beginning stages of the entrepreneurship or stardom. And I seem to be more intrigued with people starting than when they're at their pinnacle, right? I think we tend to get enough data from those people at the pinnacle, but we never get enough data from people who are starting.
Right.
So just to see how people kind of maneuver and pivot on hard times, especially times like this right now, right? How you and I are pivoting together right now. So that's pretty much what Johhny Nomad presents. I'm presenting these wonderful stories from around the world. I speak to people from around the world. I had a few people, actually I have a good friend of mine, he's in Spain right now. I wanted to try to get in touch with him, see how he's doing over there. Have another person that's in Canada I want to speak to. I have a couple of people in Kuwait I want to speak to as well, just to see how they're faring. And just speak about what's going on worldwide and trying to get that global feel. So I'm gonna be doing that pretty soon. Gonna be reaching out and seeing what people are available. That right now people are not as even though people are at home, they're not as available as you think, just because they're taking care of their families.
Exactly.
And trying to get quiet space to speak.
Uh,
Let me tell you right now.
yes.
Right now, I'm actually in my wife's office, which is also the classroom. But luckily today, she told me that today was a teacher work day, so the kids are off from school. If it wasn't for this, I'll be doing it on my iPhone in my car. So which
Oh, right. You said you were going to do it from your car.
yeah. Well, I was lucky enough that she told me it was teacher work day this morning. So I said, oh great, I can do it here.
Yeah.
But going in the future, it may be in my car on my iPhone. So if the quality is shitty, blame Tommy. But so that's pretty much it. That's what Johhny Nomad presents. I always wanted my podcast kind of evolved from doing a generic kind of podcast to doing more of an interviewing of people and getting real stories out, not fluff, not very topical. It was more about my interest, what I found interesting, and I just put that out there. I do have a miniature kind of docu coming out about this person doing real estate, and I'm actually putting that together, and that's going to be on YouTube. It's not going to be a podcast. It's just too much content to put it as a podcast, and the way I'm going to cut it, it's going to be kind of back and forth. So you if it's audio, you may get lost. If it's with the visual, you'll get to see the visual, the back and forthness of it.
Okay.
So that's going to be kind of a special treat for everyone coming on YouTube pretty soon. I'll announce the date for that on my IG account, Johhny Nomad Presents.
How close are you to launching that?
I would say probably by another week. Okay. Editing, it's a lot of content to edit, and just kind of my first baby of doing such. So I'm trying to, I'm almost being so much of a perfectionist, to be honest with you.
How long is it?
It's long. That's why it's called editing, right? So, yeah. So I don't know yet. I'm really getting the hard edit done first, and then I'm going to re-edit it again. It may be an hour, or I may do 30-minute bits. Not sure yet. I may break it up to separate series, or like maybe a mini series of it, and go from there with it. I'm not sure yet. Once I see the final edit, then I'll determine if it's too long to go ahead and do a multiple kind of a series, maybe a 2-parter or a 3-parter type of thing. So,
can you give us a little backstory?
Yeah, this person is in real estate, and young guy. He's actually used to be a pharmacist, and he didn't like his job anymore. He didn't want to be a pharmacist. Didn't want to work the long hours. Wanted to take control of his livelihood on his own. Young man, mid-30s. And he was like, screw it, I'm going to go into real estate. And he's been doing it for the past few years. And he's been successful at it, where he has a couple of VAs. VA stands for virtual assistants. It's just him. I think maybe 2 or 3 virtual assistants himself. He's keeping it small, but he's making bank. He has a partner whenever he wants to decide to get on some bigger ventures, things like that. And sometimes he does things on his own as well. So it just depends on the circumstance. And he's been gracious enough to assist me with my ventures. I started up a company as well called Nine. Excuse me. I started an investment in a company as well this year called Nine Ventures Investments. And the Nine Ventures Investment stands for my 9 kids. So that's where the 9 ventures come from. So NVI. All right. So and he's been pretty much my mentor, teaching me about real estate. And it's not traditional real estate agent work. It's more on the wholesaling side and rent to own, and to get that monthly, what they call those money in the mail checks, so that mail money.
So is the documentary about him and his
Well, pretty much it's about this one.
business?
Yes, exactly. So it's about this one house that he went ahead and purchased. He tells the story about it. I sit down and interview him inside the home. He actually goes through each rooms as far as what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and he discusses about how he's done it and what you can do as well, and how he did this virtually with no money of his own. So he gives some good tips and tidbits. So documentary / more informational piece, and this will be the first one of that kind. I've had an in-person interview of that kind of situation where I've actually was on site recording. So I had my son helping me with that, and he was a horrible cameraman. So
I'd fire him then.
Yeah, I did fire him. No, he did
Turn him out of
fantastic.
the will. Turn him out of the will as well.
No, he did really good actually. I was really impressed with what he did with the camera work. So he needs more practice, but we're gonna get it down together. And it was fun. It really was fun.
This is maybe a how-to documentary on flipping a house?
Pretty much. Well, yes. So for this one, he's actually going to be holding and renting. So it's going to be he's going to sit on it and rent it out to maybe corporate entities. He may do Airbnb to it, or if not, just a regular kind of rental piece.
Okay.
But he is fixing it up because it was dated. So he's doing minimal work. He's not doing a kind of a HGTV type of
right.
Gutting and then redoing everything. A lot of people don't do those as much as people think they do. A lot of people still do those, but a lot more people are doing less, kind of more cosmetic stuff. So if it's an older home, they're not trying to knock down walls. They're not trying to put another beam up to give you open space. They're like, you know what? I'll give you some granite countertops. I'm going to paint your cabinetry. I'll give you some new appliances. I'll give you some new flooring. And think about it. In the future, a room's going to be square anyway, right? Yeah. So a room's a room. So you just paint the room, or you paint the home a different color, or the most current color that there is. If you have an outside brown brick home, most of the time they're going to paint it white and then paint your window frames black. That's like the new thing going on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, especially in the South. That's the newest thing right now. So black window frames, a white brick front, no more of that brown brick. And if you have a steps, they'll give this kind of cedar kind of posting with rods in it to make it look even more fresh to it. The mailboxes are looking kind of different, where they come with like a mini fence with the large numbers. So they're doing different things right now just to spice things up. So we're looking kind of a little different. But most people are not gutting homes anymore. They're just kind of, if it's in decent shape, the bones are there. Just deal with it.
Well, and I'm just guessing here because my wife and I ran into somebody I know at the grocery store who's also in the same field of the real estate, and he was talking about how right now people are backing out of contracts because
of the situation.
You don't know what's going to happen, not week to week, but day to day.
Correct. So this is that instance to where even if you're a landlord and you can evict somebody right now, depending what state or city you're in,
exactly,
to a point to where you may not be able to collect any monies. And depending where you're at in your investments, you may be depending on that income. That may be your only source of income. If that is so, then that means you're shit out of luck as well, right? If you're someone who has a little more money, a little more stable, you saved some, then you may be okay. You may be able to withstand that. I've even seen on Facebook to where some landlords said they're kind of forgiving the rents and they're not going to charge their tenants not until May.
Right.
If you're that nice of a landlord, wow. I think I would do something like that. I'm not sure how long I'll be able to do it for,
Yeah.
but definitely I would check on my tenants, say, hey, let's kind of pull our resources together. I'm not going to charge you rent. Just don't fuck up the place. We're going to start. Here's an email stating when I'm not going to charge you rent and when I'm going to start back again, just to make sure that people understand, hey, this is still a contractual thing that we have here. It's great to be nice and all, but again, you still have to make money.
Well, I mean, even look at it, small businesses right now that have to shut down because they can't afford, the square footage. And unfortunately, you know, a small business can be a backbone of a town. And so
Absolutely.
it's a different world right now.
No, it is. And every state, every city is different right now, which kind of sucks, where there is no uniform thing happening with what's going on. So in my state, I'm in Georgia, I'm in Atlanta. Pretty much the mayor of Atlanta has said that every restaurant, bar, and any type of social place is closed, right? So
Right.
traffic around here has been a quarter of compared to what it used to be, which is great. People are listening. But then they just recently closed the parks because people were going to the parks. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
My kids to the damn park. That defeats the whole purpose. But we do have playtime with them. We bought sidewalk chalk and we bought board games. I told you, and we did other things. We bought jump ropes and hula hoops, and we've gone outside for walks and stuff like that just to get them going. We stayed in our little kind of containment of a group. No play dates. That makes no damn sense. But
Well, I mean, it does because the younger kids can have the virus. They might not show signs, but then they can
right,
give it to the adults. So that somewhat makes sense. But the problem is I don't know. I don't think there's enough data right now to really support a lot of what's going on. And personally, not to get on a political high horse, I just don't think our government has been transparent enough to really let us know what's going on. So
yeah, I agree with that. There's been
it's rough right now. I mean, um, like you're saying, the kids, are somewhat confined. They don't get the opportunities to see their friends as much,
yeah,
uh, or us adults can't really go out and go linger around with our adult friends. So it's
right.
it's it's just strange, this whole virus thing.
No, it is. It's new to everyone, right? And especially when our economy is so strong, right? And now it kind of is just going down, but that's because of what's going on. I think we'll rebound. Honestly, I think we do. We
Hmm.
will. Um, I'm not sure if we'll operate in the same way. People are weird and we're kind of resilient, you know what I'm saying? Where I know when I was in 9/11 for New York, it's not the same, not a virus, but in New York, it shut down for about a week or two. It got very weird, very strange. And before you know it, people were cursing at each other, sticking middle fingers up at one another. We got back to being New Yorkers, right?
Yeah.
This is different. Now you see people sneezing and coughing, you're like, back the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah. Like at least 10 feet,
Yeah, at
12.
least 10 feet.
Yeah.
As Americans, do we adopt the Japanese way of doing things, how they greet each other? They just bow. They don't shake, they don't touch each other's hands,
Oh, elbow,
elbow. I'm
elbow.
like, is that going to be the new way of doing things? No, we're going to be learning and doing different things. I don't think it's going to be the last time something like this happens with 7 billion people, about to be 9 billion in maybe a decade or less. Something's going to come from that. All that shit and piss is going to mix and we're going to get this again, right? So as far as are we ready to handle it? Obviously, no, we're not, right? So the federal government is allowing the states to handle it. The states are allowing the freaking mayors to handle it. And from the counties to the cities, everyone's waiting for all this individual layering of what to do. And no one knows what the fuck to do.
Well, a week ago, I was in California, and I had just happened to flip on the news because I had just come from work, and I went back to the hotel, and I just needed something to decompress. So I was looking for a little bit of humor, and I just happened to land on, I think it was MSNBC, and they're talking about how the state of California was getting ready to shut down. I'm like, huh? And I called the airlines. I got the next flight out the next morning to get the fuck out of Dodge because I did not want to be trapped in, another state. And at the same time, you and I talked about this when we were talking about putting this together. I'm driving to the airport in tears because I'm having a panic attack going, what the fuck is going on right now? And so it's something that, as adults, as parents, this is where we have to be transparent with our kids and let them know we don't have all the answers. This is something new. I mean, the last time we had anything close to this really was like 1918 and 1919 with the Spanish flu. Yeah. So this is new territory for parents. I mean, I just posted right before you and I were talking. I just posted on LinkedIn and on Medium. I feel jealous for parents such as you, Johhny, because I don't have the opportunity to sit here with my kids, even though two of my bonus daughters are here. But you know, I want my son here to be a part of this chaos as well.
Right.
And so, watching the little bit of morning news shows of, the parents are home working, the kids are right next to them being schooled. I don't know if my stress level would handle it, but I want to be a part of that. And so I had to write something about it. So I'm a little bit jealous of the fact that, parents such as you get these opportunities because you're creating memories right now, good or bad or indifferent. You're creating memories.
I gotta give the credit also to Lovely, who's my wife, and she's done everything. I haven't done shit. So, but this be a pain in the ass for her even more. I'm kind of like the Six Jackson.
You're Tito.
I'm Tito, right? So she has done fantastic. She's, like I said, she's created a whole area for them. We're using our living room, her office, and the living rooms adjacent to each other. So as our kitchen, we have an open plan. So she's kind of, we have the middle schooler on one side. The twins are in the same grade, so that kind of helps out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's going over with them that she has them do a PE because that's what the curriculum calls for that they've given to her. And we had to go buy a fucking shitload of ink because there was this whole week is nothing but PDFs. Last week was all digital. This week, and we had to get paper and ink, and that's another cost we wasn't expecting. But to say all that, I think the work environment is going to change for parents who are at home. And like to your point, you know what? Damn, I got to spend time with my kids. I don't want this to change anymore. And companies are going to switch up. I know a lot of companies were staying away or even moving away from people working at home. And they were going back to the whole, let's have this an open space work environment, warm desk type environment. No one's going to have a cubicle anymore. Just pick where you want to sit. But we have the capability to work from home. We have what we're using, Zoom right now. I've been using Zoom for over a year and a half, 2 years now for my podcast. And it works. It can work. Now, I do think these computers need to get better with these freaking cameras. These cameras fucking suck, right? So Apple, hope you're freaking listening. Update the goddamn cameras. But things like that, microphones, like people are gonna find ways to work from home, and you might find out more people deciding to stay at home, find something different than going back to work. Of course, they're gonna go back to work and need the job, need the money, but I think in the long run, people may change up their plan of how they operate or how they're gonna.
I told my boss because I do 100% travel for work. I told my boss I want to stay grounded. I don't want to go back on the road. I want to be working from home. And she essentially already told me, you're probably going to be home for 2 weeks and you're back out. And I'm like, I really don't want to. And this is for me a huge eye opener of going, all right, I got to get my shit together and either find something where I can work from home or, get that entrepreneurial fire under my ass and go, all right, let's get this moving. Because like I said, Johhny, I want to be home. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy, what did I do yesterday? Oh, yesterday I edited one of the latest podcasts I have will come up, and I booked like 4 more guests for the next 2 weeks to get more content out there. And so I like being home. is this going to be permanent? I hope, but like I said, I still have a dreaded day job and I need the paycheck, and so we'll see. I mean, I agree that what you're like, Yahoo years ago, Yahoo had majority of their employees working from home, and then Marissa Meyer said no more, you have to come to an office, and it's like now we're reverse engineering that, going, nope, go back home, go back
Yeah,
home.
yeah, definitely so. And listen, there's some jobs you just can't do from home. That's obvious. It's
Mm-hmm.
always gonna be that way, and that's fine. And companies, I guess, having an issue with, I guess, keeping up with their staff and performance and things of that nature, right? You think you're gonna be at home, you're gonna jerk off a lot more or whatever.
Well,
Um,
there's a company, a video conference company. What was it called? I want to say like Sneak, and the way they operate is, so if your company uses this video platform, if you get up to go take an extended period of time to go watch the Brady Bunch for an hour or two,
right.
it's constantly taking pictures of you. So if you're not there, it's I'm sure there's a trigger that telling your company, your boss, saying, "Hey, Bobby's not at his desk. Where is he?" And so, it right now it's the honor system, really. I mean, for me,
Yeah.
as I look over, oh, there's my work computer, and I need to be doing stuff, but I'm just like, well, technically, I just remember, I'm on PTO right now.
Yeah, you're on vacation, dude. So you
I'm
told me.
I'm I'm on vacation. I really am.
Yeah,
So, but I still feel guilty. And I have my work phone right here, and there's nothing, no email. Yay!
that's awesome. But I think, what? I think as Americans, though, we've kind of taken the vacation and sick time and made it into a bad thing. If you're sick
Yeah.
and you tell your boss you're sick, by law they can't tell you can't, you cannot take it.
Hmm.
But they make you feel like shit as far as saying, "Oh, you're sick again," or
Hmm.
"Oh, what do you have this time?" Or,
Yeah.
it's not as we have a bad culture around that. Even about vacation time is almost like a weakness. You're taking a vacation again, where you don't like your job. Um, around the world we have the least amount of vacation days.
Yep.
What is fucking 14 days or just 2 weeks vacation?
Yeah.
That's nothing to give yourself a break. You're working like a dog. You're overwhelmed. You're burnt out, and then also you only can take vacation throughout the time of the year that they designate because there might be blackout times,
Yep.
right? So it's like, when I don't want to go on vacation in February,
Yeah.
like, so I think that culture has to change. I think the younger generation is definitely making moves like that. They're changing it. They're just kind of simulating Europe and that
Hmm.
endeavor, especially with the new tech companies that give you almost God's amount of time off, or relaxation, or just different things you can do in the office, or be someplace different to work within the office confines. You don't have to be in the actual office or a cubicle. I think our generation is still holding on to that old school mentality of, if you're not working 70 hours a week, then you're not productive.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny you say that because um, the company I work for, not only not only do have to we have two systems we have to keep track of our time, and my boss, my manager, sent out an email saying some of you didn't work 40 hours. Okay, we're salary. Get
Right.
get over it. There are weeks that we're working over 40 hours. Where's the email there saying, oh, hold on, you worked over 40 hours, take some time for yourself? Nope. It's
Yeah.
the you didn't work 40 hours bullshit. And you're right, Johhny, because we Americans have this, we think having a strong work ethic is the key, but it's, you have to take time for yourself. I mean, my wife put it brilliantly, and she said, with this coronavirus, we're now taking a step back, realizing we need to slow down.
Hmm.
We need to take a step back and just really slow the fuck down. And I think now with, for example, the state of New York and California, for example, where you're quarantined, you're in the
Mhm.
home. And I think that's a good thing, because I think it's a realization that, okay, I need to chill. And it's good. It's good to just, again, decompress and just figure out what the next step is, but don't be so rushed to try and figure it out.
Right. I think a lot of creativity is going to come out of this. You
Mm-hmm.
know, when people are in a corner, you got to figure shit out. So I think we're going to see a lot of births coming from this, physical births, because a lot of people want to be fucking. So 9 months from now, there's going to be a lot of babies born.
Yeah.
But on top of that, then on the creative side, business, entrepreneurship, we're going to see a lot of hopefully a lot of good stuff coming from it. And I think that, like I said, we're going to bounce back. It is serious. I think people should take it serious. If it wasn't, the whole world wouldn't be involved,
Exactly.
right? It may not be as prevalent in your neighborhood, right? Every state's going to be different. Some have less, some have more. Like you said, California, New York, coastal regions, they're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Washington was worse at one point. New
All
York
right.
has taken
Washington
over,
State. Yep.
right? So right now, my state every day has been getting worse and worse because now they're freaking testing. And now counties and cities are closing stuff down. So by next week, I was probably say most of Metro Atlanta is going to probably be closed down, if not already by the end of this week. I still think we have another couple more weeks of this. I don't think by April 1st they're going to say, hey, open the economy up, because then look what's happening to China right now. They opened it up and people are sick again.
Yeah.
So they need to get a proper handle on this. So we have to see. Of course, we got to go back to work. You got to do what you have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully they'll have something in the meantime to help people out with it. And quarantining people once the economy is open, what happens then? Because nobody has 14 days of sick time.
Right.
You may get 6 days for the whole entire year, depending who you work for. Or if you work in a warehouse, you get points if you're out. So how does that work? So the job sector is not going to pivot to compensate for this once the economy opens back up again.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have coronavirus and I don't have vacation time, am I shit out of luck? Am I missing 2 weeks of pay? These are questions that need to be answered.
Right.
This is a different world now. Has to be some
Well,
type of mandate going on.
I personally, like, for our company, they already told us, if you get it, don't stress about. Well, let me take a step back. Our company is switching over to a different type of vacation. It's more of the honor system. So, like I said, we're switching over as of the end of this month. And so I still have my PTO, and I'm like, I'm going to use my PTO. And then going forward, it's no longer, how every paycheck you accumulate so
You
many
accrued
hours.
your time.
Exactly. No more. It's I don't know if it's going to be a free for all, but I think, like you were saying earlier, I I want this to be a good thing where, if my coworkers just are feeling mentally they need a break, that they don't have to go, oh, I need to still save up my time for the end of the year,
Correct.
versus I have that time. I can go take that time. I can go say to my boss, I need a break. And I'm hoping that with this different way of uh, taking vacation time, that this will be a precedent for other companies to say, if you're having a bad day, go home. No questions asked.
I used to work for a tech company. I'm not going to say their name. It was a competitor of Uber. And I had unlimited vacation time, or just holiday time, and then paternity leave if you had if you had a baby. Paternity leave for males were up to 18 weeks.
Wow.
So they were really about. I gotta say they were really about taking care of their team members, and people would go take vacations, and it wasn't all the time as you think it would be. Because the thing is that when you have the time, you tend to work harder anyway. Because you're like, no, I can take it off whenever I want to now. When you strict with it, you try to make any excuse just to take time off anyway because
Right.
you're burnt out and you're trying to use. A lot of times people take their sick time as vacation time because that I know I'm not going to lose it. Sometimes it doesn't roll over.
Right.
Right. So they'll call out sick. Of course, HR may want a doctor's note. People are forging doctor's notes left and right. That's easy on Google, right? But I think to your point, I think for an older company doing that now, it may be a culture shock in the beginning. They may have a kind of a mad dash, everyone jumping at one time, taking vacation. But also it depends on your department. If Sally and Robert is out, obviously you can't take it, Tommy.
Right.
What's fair is fair. You take it next month. I had people taking vacation every other month. And they would take it for a week. Sometimes I had a coworker who went to Japan for 2 weeks. I never was able to take a 2-week vacation ever in my career.
Yeah.
It was after my 5 days, 7 days, whatever. You combine it with your days off, so you get 7 days, right?
Yeah.
And then you come back, and you're like, shit, okay. But
I
you
don't
don't
want
get
to be here.
I don't want to be here.
Back.
I'm back, So it's different when you have that, where you have people that's understanding and people are not taking advantage of it. And the people who do take advantage of it, they would get terminated.
Yeah.
It's just that easy. If you're performing well and you say, hey, after this project on the 13th, I'm, starting my vacation, who's going to say no?
Mm-hmm.
It's all about time. You know as well when it's busy time for your business. When it's the peak season. What makes sense. What's on your plate. So it makes no sense for you to try to run out of Dodge when, this is the peak time of the business and everything relies on you. We all have to be adults as well with our expectation as well, right? And I think, like I said, we have a few people that's going to take advantage of it. Not many. People will learn how to use it. It's a new thing, but to have that availability of it, and if the wife says, "Hey, next month I'm going to go somewhere," you can say, "Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, I'll put it in right now. Let's fucking do it."
Yep.
Instead of saying, "Hey, why don't we save it till June? Only have about 5 days left."
Yeah.
And you're saving it for this one time of year instead of just saying, "Hey, let's up and go. Yeah, let's go cross country next month this week." It's having that freedom that changes your mindset 1,000%.
So what would one tip, what would one piece of advice you want to give out, Johhny, and to the people who are watching this, to the people who are listening to this, as far as a positive message, as far as how can we, because again, we're coming together because we felt that we just wanted to do something collaboratively, if I can speak English, but at the same time, what can we offer somebody right now, something positive, to help them moving forward with the way the world is going right now?
That idea that you have, go after it. That dream that you had yesterday or 10 years ago, now you have the time to execute on it. Go after your shit. Make it happen. The time is now. There's no excuse right now, right? Whether you got laid off, whether you just quarantine for the next 14 days off your job, whether you're on vacation like yourself, now is the time to take advantage of that time and start something. Get a fire under your ass and get it going. This is the time you really want to change not just your life, but your families. And go after it. Don't worry about the money. Just get shit started. You will figure things out. If you really want to make things happen, things will fall into place. You will make things happen. And if you have to sacrifice a little bit here and there, you do such. But use this time wisely, man. That's why I've been contemplating, figuring things out, like I said with you, and it's like, what do we do next?
Right.
How am I going to attack this span of time on top of having family time, on top of being engaged with the family, not being disengaged, but also doing what I want to do at the same time and not feeling bad about leaving my family aside, right? Because you also have that variable too, right? People with their families, but then they want to work on themselves. They feel almost like it's almost too selfish. You have to be. If you really want to have more time with your family, you're going to have to do something in return to garner those funds so you can have more fun with them. So right now, go after your dream, plug away at it, tell people, don't tell people. I don't care which method you want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
Just go after it. Just fucking do it and take that step. That's it.
Awesome. Well, this was a lot of fun.
It was.
We're gonna have to do this again, like maybe tomorrow.
That sounds great. Let's do it tomorrow. Let's see what else we can come up with.
Exactly.
We'll come up with some maybe some segment pieces, guys, and we'll get this more formatted for you guys. But this was definitely just kind of, hey, let's put something together. Let's get out there and make it happen. And, we'll see where it goes from here.
Yeah.
Maybe it needs to argue a little bit. Maybe we just have like some opposing opinions. We can't always agree for shit. You know what I'm saying?
New York pizza sucks. Chicago pizza's the best.
Chicago pizza's not even pizza. That's like a fucking meal. What are you talking about? Chicago. Yeah, you're in Colorado. But anyway, I can't talk. I'm in Atlanta. I'm from New York. We will find something we can oppose on.
There you go.
And we'll give our two senses, and we'll see what we can do. Come up with some fun stuff for you guys.
I agree.
Awesome. So you guys, you can find this on Tommy's platform, which is Tommy.
blendingthefamily.com.
And you'll also find it on Giant Nomad Presents. We're going to be sharing the content together. And like I said, whatever comes out of this, then we're going to form something new. We'll see.
Who knows?
Yeah. But we're definitely going to get this again tomorrow. Let's talk. And tomorrow I may be in my car. Maybe we just make a fun day out of it. Every time we do it, I may be someplace different.
I could be on a walk.
Yeah.
Get out of the house. I didn't get out of the house at all yesterday, so maybe I'll be on a walk when we're doing this. So
that sounds.
Who knows?
I may challenge you today. Maybe we both be on walks.
Okay.
That sounds fantastic.
All right.
Great, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Over and out.